Honorable the Chief Justice of Kerala, Justice S. Mani Kumar, Honorable Justice T.V. Anil Kumar, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Kerala, the Director General of Prosecutions, Senior Advocate T. A. Shaji, the Additional Advocate General K. K. Ravindranath, the State Attorney Advocate K. V. Sohan, the Assistant Solicitor General Sri P. Vijay Kumar, the President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Advocate Thomas Abraham, the Chairman of the Bar Council of Kerala, Advocate Joseph Joel, the representative of the Kerala High Court Senior Advocates Association, Senior Advocate Sri Vishwanathan, the representatives of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, Advocate Kabani, law officers of the central and state governments, esteemed fellow members of the Bar, Registrar General and Registrars of the High Court, members of the staff of the High Court, members of the Office of the Advocate General, President and members of the Kerala High Court Advocates Clerks Association, wife of Justice T.V. Anil Kumar, Srimati Rani Lalitambiga, other family members of Justice T.V. Anil Kumar, and all other dignitaries who are present and joining this meeting online. Bidding farewell will always be with a tinge of sadness when it is in the midst of a pandemic wherein the nation as a whole and the lawyering community in particular is facing its greatest ever challenge. It adds to the pain. Today, we are bidding adieu to an erudite and affable judge of this Honorable Court, Justice T.V. Anil Kumar, who is demitting his office on attaining the age of superannuation. Born, brought up and educated at Thiruvananthapuram, his Lordship was enrolled as a lawyer on 8/1/1983. His Lordship's practice was predominantly on the civil side in the courts at Thiruvananthapuram District Court Center as junior to Sri C.N. Vasudevan Bhattacharya, late, and at Nedumangad as junior to Advocate K.G. Ramachandran Nair. I was told by his peers at the bar that his Lordship became a much acclaimed, appreciated and reputed civil lawyer in a short span of time. His Lordship's judicial career, spanning over 3 decades, began in 1991 on being appointed as a municipal magistrate before being elevated as a judge of this Honorable Court on 5/11/2019. His Lordship had a tenure spanning over 27 years and more in the subordinate judiciary, during which time his Lordship adorned the office as a municipal, as a judicial first-class magistrate, as a subordinate and assistant sessions judge, as a chief judicial magistrate, as the registrar of the Kerala Administrative Tribunal, as a district judge, as a family court judge, and as the director of the Kerala Judicial Academy. The long and illustrious journey of nearly 3 decades through the subordinate judiciary certainly molded his Lordship to grace the seat of a judge in the highest court of the state. His Lordship's term as a judge of this Honorable Court was brief, but judicially eventful. The nearly 30 months of his Lordship's tenure, inclusive of 3 vacations, 2 lockdowns, and 1 year of continued restricted work environment due to the pandemic outbreak, more than 90 judgments either authored by his Lordship or rendered by benches of which his Lordship was also a part of the quorum, have been reported by law journals as judicial precedents. This is apart from the scores of other cases disposed by his Lordship that the aforesaid judicial precedents lay down principles of law covering multifarious fields like civil, criminal, matrimonial, environmental, work-up, service, election and education matters, speaks volumes for the exemplary judicial work put in with dedication by his Lordship and the due discharge of his constitutional duties. In Pramod E.K. versus Launa V.C., 2019, 1 KHC 292, my Lord, speaking for the division bench, held that the family courts, though
not bound by sophisticated rules of relevancy or admissibility of evidence by virtue of Section 14 of the Family Courts Act, should not, however, be understood to possess unregulated or unbridled power of freedom to receive in evidence indiscriminately all matters that are brought before them, and that hearsay evidence, which was inherently inadmissible, could not be therefore acknowledged as an evidence in any proceedings before a family court also. It was further held that therein that Section 14 of the Family Courts Act was only aimed at mitigating the rigor of sophisticated rules of relevancy and admissibility of the Evidence Act, rather than annihilating the very fundamental rules of proof and natural justice inherent in an ideal legal system, and that family courts were nonetheless bound to adhere to the fundamental rules of evidence based on logic, fairness, and experience, and also principles of natural justice. In Reshma Majid versus Shamir Babu, 2019 1 KHC 324, my Lord, speaking for the division bench, held that the court should be circumspect in summoning lawyers cited as witness, whether by their own clients or opposite parties, except when their examinations was unavoidable. In Roy Thomas versus Lekha Roy, 2019 2 KHC 130, my Lord, speaking for the division bench, traced distinctions between the appointment of a guardian and next friend and the circumstances in which the appointment should be made. In Galgosius University versus Malayalam Manorama, 2019 KHC 447, my Lord, speaking for the division bench, held that the power of courts to order attachment before judgment was an extraordinary power vested with courts, which had to be exercised with care and caution, failing which it would have a disastrous effect on the adverse party, affecting his status and reputation in public. In Madhu K., Inspector of Police, Marayamuttam and others, 2025 KC 35, my Lord, held that due care should be taken by investigating officers in the matter of freezing accounts, and that freezing of accounts cannot be on mere surmises and conjectures. Neliamma alias Leelamma versus Kunyamma John and others, 2021 2 KHC 161. My Lord, held that an original defendant in a suit later transposed as plaintiff could not seek to amend the pleadings of the original plaintiff in the suit. Your Lordship was pleased to consider the scope and purport of the words amend his pleadings in Order 6, Rule 17 of the CP Court in the said decision. To quote Justice P. Sadashiva, who spoke for the bench in Sharma OP versus High Court of Punjab and Haryana, reported in 2011 6 SEC 86. I quote, "A court, be that of a magistrate or the Supreme Court, is sacrosanct. The integrity and sanctity of an institution which has bestowed upon itself the responsibility of dispensing justice is ought to be maintained. All the functionaries, be it advocates, judges, and the rest of the staff, ought to act in accordance with morals and ethics," unquote. His Lordship has, in his judicial career, successfully endeavored to uphold the integrity and sanctity of the justice dispensation system and acted in accordance with the morals and ethics expected from the solemn office of a judge. An adherent to dispassionate dispensation of justice, His Lordship, as was conscious about the duties and powers of a judge, was equally conscious of the restraints of the judiciary obligated by the constitutional framework, particularly with reference to separation of powers. To quote the great Chinese philosopher Confucius, quote, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions," as this is squarely applicable to Honorable Justice T.V. Anil Kumar. Unassuming and humble, serene and patient, His Lordship never had an occasion in his long tenure of judicial service to offend any member of the bar. His Lordship apparently followed the principle of the judges speaking through their judgments but for the force majeure pandemic, we would have seen more of His Lordship's scholarly judicial outputs. I am certain that but for this pandemic situation, this hall would have been crowded and full to bid farewell to His Lordship. On behalf of the entire lawyer fraternity of the state, I extend my best wishes to my Lord to have many more years of happy, creative and fruitful life. I also extend the best wishes to Srimati Rani Lalitambika, wife of Justice T.V. Anil Kumar, and his other family members.
Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Honorable Mr. Justice T.V. Anil Kumar, other Honorable Judges, Mrs. Rani Anil Kumar, Advocate General Sri K. Gopala Shukru, Additional Advocate General Mr. K. K. Ravindranath, Director General of Prosecution Mr. T. H. Shaji, Assistant Solicitor General Mr. P. Vijaykumar, State Attorney Mr. K. V. Sohan, respected elder members of the fraternity, Registrar General and other officers of this court, advocate clerks, and dear friends. A span of 2.5 years is not a period sufficient for the bar to develop a liking for a judge in the normal courts. It is this aspect that makes His Lordship Justice T.V. Anil Kumar a person who has some apparent difference. Let me vouch now, when His Lordship leaves, the bar feels that we are losing somebody so dear to our hearts. Justice T.V. Anil Kumar established the image of a gentle-mannered judge, capable of dealing with any turbulent situation with a calm state of mind. There is a unique character we expect all judges to have. Every judge deals with cases which create mental strife, tension, agony, and a lot more for the litigants who approach the court. Arguments are also advanced by lawyers on either side, highlighting the reasons behind the aforesaid mental state of his client. But if the judge is also swayed by such considerations, he is certain to fail in the proper exercise of his adjudicatory duties. Justice T.V. Anil Kumar has proved himself capable of overcoming the sound and fury around him and adhere to the golden tenets guiding the process of dispensation of justice. Judges generally are very bar-friendly, and they really care for the well-being of lawyers also. And it is such protective approach that inspires the bar to sail with the bench in all disturbed waters with the spirit of oneness, which state of affairs adds to the glory and majesty of this institution of ours. Slightest deviation either from the bench or the bar from this golden rule would have devastating consequences on the very credibility of this mighty establishment. In all matters touching the dispensation of justice, the bar and the bench are bound to act in coordination and absolute harmony, as our paramount duty is to see that nothing that may lead to the tarnishing of our collective image, revered by countless citizens, occurs even during the darkest of periods like the one we are presently going through. Let us not forget that this institution, and for that matter all of us, have our genesis from the democratic fabric of our sacred constitution. A glance to His Lordship's academic and professional career reveals glittering brilliance which he conceals behind his unassuming, modest demeanor. His Lordship obtained his law degree from Government Law College, Thiruvananthapuram, and practiced for several years after enrollment before joining the judicial service on 28/1/1991. Over the next more than 25 years, His Lordship rendered immaculate service in the subordinate judiciary without giving room for any complaint from the bar or his colleagues, and earned their boundless respect, affection, and regards. Kerala Judicial Academy also was lucky to get the benefits of his leadership qualities during his tenure as its director till 5/11/2018, the day on which His Lordship entered the portals of this honourable court. His Lordship championed noble causes in all the offices his Lordship held, and as a result gained acceptance and approval of the bar in all those places. But the notable aspect of his performance was that he did hardly anything to claim any appreciation for his contributions. Sense of humility and dedication to duty guided his thoughts and deeds, and he stands before us as a model for that noble virtue. Through his industry, patience, his sound knowledge of law, and fairness in conduct of cases, the trust that people repose in our judicial system has been greatly enhanced. The belief that the most cardinal duty of the judiciary was to act as guardian angels of the fundamental rights of the citizens was reflected in his Lordship's judgments. Bringing a relief to mobile phone customers who are dragged into criminal cases by operators, his Lordship Justice T.V. Anil Kumar held that non-payment of mobile phone bills cannot be considered cheating, and further observed that the same is merely a case of breach of trust or agreement and does not fall under the purview of a criminal offence. A division bench comprising of his Lordship Justice T.V. Anil Kumar observed that the courts dealing with cases for dissolution of marriage based on mutual consent are bound to take a liberal attitude in waiving off the statutory period, and it is convinced that the marital tie has been broken irretrievably, and there is no chance of rethinking or reunion. Yet another division bench comprising of Justice T.V. Anil Kumar observed that reunion of spouses for a temporary period during the pendency of the proceedings for divorce, pursuant to settlement of matrimonial issues, will not defeat the claim for dissolution of marriage on the ground of alleged continuation of cruelty, nor will it bar continuance of the proceedings when the relationship is again estranged. A division bench comprising of his Lordship observed that there is no statute requirement that the attesting witnesses shall necessarily be one who maintains previous knowledge or acquaintance with the testator. Considering the positive time, I am not venturing to make any further reference about his Lordship's contributions in the arena of invaluable precedents. It is time to bid farewell. I can do it for the bar, but only with the earnest desire that we won't part with your Lordship at all, and that you will always be there as our friend, our guardian, and well-wisher. During the days to come, which may be trying and hard for all of us, the good memories we share are certain to keep us strong enough to face the crisis posed by the pandemic which has reached our doorsteps. We, the members of the bar, bid your Lordship farewell and wish good health and long life to continue your valuable service to this nation. Thank you all.
Honorable Brother Justice T.V. Anil Kumar, my esteemed brother and sister judges, Mr. Gopalakrishna Kurup, Learned Advocate General, Mr. P.K. Ravindra Menon, Senior Standing Counsel, Government of India Taxes, Mr. K.V. Sohan, Learned State Attorney, Mr. T.A. Shaji, Senior Advocate and Learned Director General of Prosecutions, Mr. Sugana Balan, President of the Senior Advocates Association, Mr. Vijay Kumar, Learned Assistant Solicitor General of India, Mr. Thomas Abraham, Learned Advocate and President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, representative of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, respected senior lawyers, my dear junior lawyers, Registrar General and other registrars of Kerala High Court, Srimati Rani Lalitambiga and other family members of Honorable Justice Anil Kumar, staff of this court, members of the Advocates Clerk Association, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to all. After a distinguished and devoted service to the justice delivery system for a long period, about 30 years, both in the district judiciary as well as in the High Court, Brother Honorable Justice T.V. Anil Kumar is demitting his office on attaining superannuation, and we have assembled here to bid an affectionate farewell to Honorable Brother Justice T.V. Anil Kumar. Hailing from Valdiyavilla in Neyitangara Taluk, Thiruvananthapuram district, Justice Anil Kumar obtained law degree from Government Law College, Thiruvananthapuram. Justice Anil Kumar enrolled as an advocate in the year 1983. He had a good practice for about 7 years, mainly on civil matters in the courts at Vanchur and Nedumangad in Thiruvananthapuram district. Brother Justice joined the Kerala Judicial Service as District Munsif on 28/1/1991. He served as Judicial First Class Magistrate in 3 stations. Later, he was promoted as Sub-Judge and also served as Chief Judicial Magistrate. Thereafter, he was promoted as District and Session Judge, and in that capacity, served as Work Tribunal, Family Court Judge, Motor Accident Claims Tribunal, and other capacities as well. Finding his administrative capacity as well as disposition towards the justice delivery system as such, on deputation, he was posted as Registrar, Kerala Administrative Tribunal, Thiruvananthapuram. On 27/10/2016, Justice Anil Kumar took charge as Director of State Kerala Judicial Academy and continued as such till his elevation to the High Court. After a period of more than 27 years of meritorious service in the district judiciary, on 5/11/2018, Brother Justice Anil Kumar was elevated to the bench of Kerala High Court as additional judge, and he was made permanent judge on 14th September 2020. Though the tenure as judge of this court was only for a short period of 2 years and 5 months, Brother Justice Anil Kumar has disposed of 1,352 single bench cases and 1,531 division bench cases. Brother Justice Anil Kumar has delivered many landmark judgments on various subjects, including family court matters. Both the learned Advocate General as well as the learned President of the Advocate Association have read out so many cases of His Lordship's landmark judgments. Though I don't want to repeat once again the judgments which were rendered by Brother Justice Anil Kumar, but I would only cite one case, that is in Suhara versus Muhammad Jalil, reported in 2019, 2 KLT 9 and 16. The Honorable Division Bench, consisting of Brother Justice Anil Kumar, is considered 2 matrimonial appeals filed against a judgment of the family court granting custody of a minor child to her father. Father of the child was being prosecuted for alleged dowry death of his wife. Question which came up for consideration before the court was whether grant of custody of the minor child to a father was correct. Traversing through the provisions of the Guardians and Wards Act 1890, in considering decisions of the Honorable Supreme Court, the bench presided over by Justice Anil Kumar held that merely because a crime alleging dowry death was under investigation, a claim for custody of minor ward cannot be denied to father if he is otherwise legitimately entitled to custody, especially in the said case when the complaint against him was referred as false on a former occasion. Justice Anil Kumar has rendered his valuable services on the administrative side as well by giving suggestions wherever he felt. Personally, I am of the view that Justice Anil Kumar can be outlined as an individual who is very calm in nature, composed in outlook, and firm in his views. Administration of justice, both on the judicial as well as on the administrative side, was safe in his hands, as is evident from the trajectory of his judicial career. I have no hesitation to say that though his tenure in the High Court was a short period, Brother Justice Anil Kumar has discharged his onerous duties and responsibilities in conformity with the true spirit of the oath administered to him. I, on behalf of the High Court as well as the legal fraternity, can say that his association will be remembered by the legal fraternity. On this occasion, my sincere regards and respects to Srimati Rani Lalitambiga, wife of Brother Justice Anil Kumar, and other family members, and all those associated with him in discharge of his duties as judge. While bidding farewell to Brother Justice Anil Kumar, on behalf of my sisters and brothers on the bench, and on my own behalf, I extend our gratitude for your cooperation and convey our best wishes for a continued good health and peaceful, long life. Thank you all. Yes, one second.
My Lord, Honorable the Chief Justice, Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, my esteemed sister and brother judges, Sri K. Gopalkrishna Kurup, the Learned Advocate General, Sri Thomas Abraham, the President of Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Sri Joseph John, the Chairman of the Bar Council of Kerala, Sri P. Jayakumar, the Assistant Solicitor General of India, Sri T. A. Shaji, the Director General of Prosecution, Sri K. V. Sohan, the State Attorney, Sri N. N. Sugunabalan, the President of Kerala High Court Senior Advocates Association, Srimati S. K. Devi, the President of Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, the learned law officers of the Union and State governments, the learned senior and junior members of the Bar, the Registrar General and other registrars, the officers and staffs of the High Court, the advocate clerks, other members of the legal fraternity, and ladies and gentlemen. I am thankful for the nice words spoken of me by the Honorable Chief Justice, the Learned Advocate General, and the President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, which, as all know, are quite usual and customary on the occasion of retirement of judges. I believe that fate of a person living on earth is rather shaped and determined by the destiny than by his own thoughts and actions. This has been my humble experience in life all along. By God's grace, I was destined to become a judicial officer in the subordinate judiciary of the state and a judge of this great institution in later years. I am fully indebted to the Almighty for giving me health, strength, courage, and peace of mind for discharging my duties as a judge over the last more than 3 decades. I recollect on this occasion with great gratitude my gurus in the legal profession, late Advocate Sri C. N. Vasudevan Bhattaripad and Sri K. G. Ramendra Nair, under whom I started practice as a junior lawyer. I also recall all my colleagues in the bar, the advocate clerks, and the court staffs with whom I had associated in those days as a lawyer. I would not have learned the practical lessons of law and functioning of the court system, but for their valuable guidance, advice, and support. I place on record at this moment the valuable service and assistance received from the members of the bar, the court staffs of all places in the state, wherever I officiated as a judicial officer. My induction into the Kerala Judicial Academy as the director, in fact, marked a turning point in my career. The experience which I gained from the academy helped me to a great extent discharge my duties as a judge of this court. I sincerely thank Justice P. N. Ravindran and Justice K. T. Shankaran, the former judges of this court, for having opted me in the post and afforded opportunity to associate with the activities of the academy. I also acknowledge the valuable assistance and support of Justice K. T. Shankaran while he was the Director Academics, and of Sri P. J. Ajit Kumar, the Registrar District Judiciary, Sri B. P. M. Suresh Babu, the District Judge, and M. K. Ganesh, the subjects who then were respectively the Additional Director, Deputy Director, and Assistant Director of the Kerala Judicial Academy. My thanks are also due to the present Director Academics, Mr. Justice A. M. Babu, retired, other directors, and the staffs of the Academy. I had opportunities to sit in the division benches of this court with former judges, Justice C. K. Abdul Rahim, Justice K. Harilal, Justice P. D. Rajan, Justice A. Hari Prasad, and Justice A. M. Shafiq. I thank them for the valuable guidance and support given to me. I thank
the sister and brother judges of this court for their kind cooperation and support given to me during my tenure. The lawyers of the High Court, the public prosecutors, and the government leaders have been cooperative, helpful, and affectionate to me, and I thank all of them on this occasion. This institution has been a source of moral strength, inspirational thoughts, and support to me ever since my entry into the judicial career. Nonetheless, I feel that I should not fail to point out at this moment the trauma and hardships of the litigants in old civil, criminal, and compensation cases pending before this court on account of the delay occasioned dispensing timely justice. I humbly believe that unless a suitable, effective, and emergent intervention is made in this regard by the all concerned for eliminating the delay factor and overhauling the system by instilling confidence in the minds of the public, the administration of justice will turn out to be a catastrophe. I thank Srimati Sophie Thomas, the Registrar General, Sri P.G. Ajit Kumar, the Registrar District Judiciary, K.P. Sudhir, the Registrar Vigilance, and other registrars of the High Court, Sri K.T. Nizar Ahmad, the Member Secretary of KELSA, Sri Joni Sebastian, the Director of Kerala State Mediation and Conciliation Center, Srimati Deepa V, the Chief Librarian and her team, Sri T.S. Arun, the Public Relations Officer and his staffs, Sri R. Ashok, the Protocol Officer and his team for their valuable services. I place on record high appreciation for the dedicated and excellent work performed by my Private Secretary, Srimati Amblian, Personal Assistant, Srimati Deepa S. Thambi, the Court Officers, Sri Sujit P. and Sri Dilip Kumar B. This is essentially an occasion for me to remember my parents and to be proud of their blessings. I am also deeply indebted to my wife and son for their sincere support and service which helped me fulfill the goals in my career. I thank my chauffeur, Sri Santosh Kumar K.S., office attendants, Sri K. Harinarayanan and Srimati Reddy Devi, K.R., the personal staff, Sri Robi Matthew, and also Sri Pradeep Kumar and Sri Ridish R., who have been in charge of my personal security. There are also many other staff members of this court who work with me. I remember all of them also on this occasion and thank them for their valuable services. Wishing each one of you very good luck and success in life. I take leave now. Thank you all again. Jai Hind.